All right, welcome back to another episode of Unhinged Bookish Thoughts with Liz and Carrie. We
Hello.
are wrapping up. Oh, fuck. Woo! We are wrapping up.
We're what?
I cut you off on your excitement. We are wrapping up another month of reads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a month of reads.
It was March.
I read more than I thought. Like when we were talking about it yesterday, I did read more than I thought. And there were some really good ones. Like we both read 3 books by the same author, the same 3 books by the same author, and we fucked them up. Yeah. We loved those. I'll be honest, I did a lot of DNFing. I would say soft DNFing because I think
you
some
DNF'd
of them
more than me in March, which says a lot.
Yeah, and some of them are soft DNFs. I think I'll come back to them. However, there are some that I'm like, you know what? I told Liz this. I said, I need to quit trying.
Yes.
With some of these authors. It's because it's just clearly not made for me. I'm not going to talk about those or the author, but it's just clearly I need to stop pushing it when it's a fucking bummer, dude. I hate being that. I hate doing that. But also it's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, just read what you're enjoying.
Yes.
But I don't
come to the dark side.
But I don't allow myself
on a whim. You see one line and you go, fuck this shit, and you throw it out the window.
Yeah. So we're going to go through our list of what we read this month, and then we are going to each pick 3 and do if yes, if no. That's becoming our thing, gang.
Yeah, I like doing the yes, no for the reviews. I think it works really well. If anyone would like something else and you have a different game you want us to play for our April reads, let us know and we'll do something different. But I'm liking the yes, no. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun because it's a good way for us to have talking points without necessarily giving everything to you guys because we want you to read these books.
Yeah.
So I had 7 books. Kind of a range. Okay, I will say a range, but realistically there was like 1 fantasy in there and then the rest was like all contemporary. Romance. So yeah.
You're going back to your roots of contemporary romance.
I am in deep. Like, hockey romance has got me by the ovaries.
We're going to have a Carrie sports romance rec list that we're going to do a post this month that is going to have all of them because you have read so many of those books that I think it needs its own special post.
I've read 41 books this year already, which is crazy for me.
90% of those are sports.
At least 32 of them are sports romances.
And of those 30, how many are hockey?
Probably 27. I would really say.
Why? I don't know. It's just hitting. It's hitting every single time.
When you look at me, you think that girl's an athlete.
I think hockey.
Yeah.
1000% hockey.
Yeah. So I'll go through my list and then you can go through your list and then we'll go through our 3 favorites each. So my most recent finish was First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Loved that. My next one, I don't want to say this wrong, so you might have to help me. Kiss of the Basilisk. A split or swallow novel.
A split or swallow.
Yeah, not
spit. I thought it was spit, but it's actually split. I was like, oh, still weird.
I am personally making that one of my top reads this month just because I want to do if
you
yes,
want to talk about it. You want to talk about it. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm at a point where I want you to read this book simply so we can have an episode about it because so much shit happens. It is the perfect type of book for Unhinged Bookish Thoughts. It's crazy. Anyway, we will talk about that soon.
Wait, has the audiobook come out yet?
I have no idea.
It has to because it's trad. There's got to be an audiobook for it.
I have no idea.
I've got to find out.
But let's hope because I would love it. I will try.
Listen, April, I will try to read it. However, I realized I only did 1 physical book in April, like of my physical books. And so I need to focus on reading several in April because I'm trying to get through my TBR.
I physically read First Time Caller. I'm so proud of myself.
Yes, you did. And I'm going to read that. I am going to read that in April. Whatever month that this is supposed to be.
So 3 of the other books are all by Clio Evans, which we will be talking about in another episode. So as much as those were genuinely my favorites this month, I am going to pick different 3 to talk about because, but everybody listening, those were my favorites. And those were, they are all from the Citrus Cove series. It's book 1 is Broken Beginnings, book 2 is Stolen Chances, and book 3 is Hidden Roots. I did get Hidden Roots as an arc, and I was very excited about it. Ate that shit up. So those are 3 of them. Next up is we have Wild Side by Elsie Silver. That was fun. It was a journey. And I had one more, but I think I read the physical copy. I don't think it's on my Kindle. Oh, look at Carrie's not prepared. Wow.
We're winging it. You guys think we wing it every time? This is worse this time around.
It's one of the Lila's Sage books. I just don't know which one it is.
It's not the Done and Dusted?
It's book first. Yeah, Done and Dusted.
It's Done and Dusted. That was the first one. Because you want me to read that too, so.
Yeah. Those are my books, gang. So see, I had a little bit of different.
You had a cowboy in there.
Not word.
So technically I read I think 11, but I didn't put one's a writing craft book and I didn't put that on my list, so I'm not going to talk about that one. Okay, and it's all over the freaking place, so just bear with me. So I read Out of the Woods by Hannah Brigham Young, and then I don't know who the author on this one is. Tell Me What You Did, which is a thriller. It's a very popular thriller. Blood Over Brighthaven by Emma Wang. Then I'm going to skip the Clio ones. I'll come back to them. If I Was Your Girl, which is, there's 3 books I read for the Trans Right Readathon that started at the end of March and ran through the 31st. I read 3 books for that. If I Was Your Girl was one. Nevada is another. And then I finished The Dead Take the A Train as well. And then I read Project Hail Mary, which, Carrie, I think you need to read that one. Mainly because you like Red Rising, and I've heard that they're similar, so I will start my journey on that probably in the next couple months, but I liked that one. The 3 Clio books I read were Hidden Roots and Stolen Chances, and then A Slice of Hell, which is her Creature Cafe series, which is on Carrie's boobies.
No, this is Citrus Cove.
Oh, not Citrus Cove. Oh, what is it? I was wrong.
Citrus Cove is on my boobies.
Why are you covering your nipples?
Yeah.
So Harry's like, I'm gonna hide my nipples for some reason. So A Slice of Hell is Clio's Creature Cafe series. It's in the episode that we have with Clio coming up, because at the point that this is being released, everyone will know that we have a Clio episode. It is the one with her barista, who is a matchmaker. So it's quite entertaining.
Who we find out is like one of her favorite characters.
Yeah,
the barista.
It is. He's pretty great, though. He is pretty great. So, yeah. And then I read a craft book, which is about writing emotional impact in your books. And so
I did not have this logged as read, but I did read one more. I read a sapphic romance.
Oh, what'd you read?
It's called First Crush. Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. Zoe Brennan's First Crush by Laura Piper Lee.
Oh, I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, that was fun too. I loved that one. So I read 8 books.
Oh, look at you.
Watch out, gang.
Oh, yeah. Watch out.
And I probably, I DNF'd probably 14 at this rate. But, okay.
I don't think I DNF'd any books.
I read Holly Renee's.
You read Holly. You read 9 books.
Hey,
look at you.
I also got an art copy of The Rival Crown, which is the last book within that series. So, my bad. 9 books. 9 books.
9. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to start your top 3? Or your 3 of choice? Or
I can. I gotta think of let's go back and forth. I will start with my first one because it's really easy. My top book was Blood Over Brighthaven, which I have a physical copy of. It's the only physical book I read. Well, I'm trying to read my physical TBR, so I have this one. I wanted it because of the edges. So I read this one. And I really liked this one. This was really good. It had me in chapter 1. I was like, what in the is going on here? It takes a lot for me to go, what the hell? I was like, what is happening here? Okay, let me think. Yes, if you like dark academia style books, this is very much that. Magic is kind of like coding. That is the best way to describe it. No, if you need romance in your books, that yeah, is like a little bit of romance, but this is fantasy. I wouldn't even say it's like romantic fantasy where the fantasy or the romance is subplot. This is fantasy, very much so. So if you need romance, there's like flirting and stuff like that, but it's not the focus of it. Very much fantasy. Yes, if you like a strong FMC who is highly, highly intelligent and wants to fuck with the patriarchy.
Hell yeah.
No, if you don't like very flowy writing style, like I wouldn't call it poetic, lyrical maybe, but it's very like flourished kind of style writing. I don't know. I know you've read sort of Kaigen. I don't know if her other books like this, but it's very eloquently written. So if you
it's
like
the type of writing that kind of makes you think a little bit.
Yeah. But it's really good. Like am shocked by how much I like this book. I was like, oh yeah, I'll like it. Like I think I'll like it. But the way the magic is done in it is very unique. It's like I just thought of the coding and I was like, yeah, that's actually very accurate because they're like pulling and like having to like write these like codes out to get the magic to work in it, and only certain people do it. So like the premise is that she is trying to become the first like high esteem like magic worker that's a female. So like she's fighting the patriarchy to be the first female to be this like type of person. Yeah. And like it's hard. Like she's the first woman in history, and so you get to follow that story, and then but the world is very unique where it's very like urbanized, but I want to say like steampunkish is kind of the vibe. Like historical, but like a flair of steampunk kind of feel to it for me, but highly, highly recommend. Very good.
Yeah. Great.
Your turn.
And then you just come over to mine, which aren't like as intense and like, you know what I mean? Like world building, if you will.
I have been more into the fantasy, like heavy sci-fi fantasy right now versus anything else. So April's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. This is my physical read. I'll do this one. And my most current first time caller, BK Borison. BK is what I just said. BK Borison. I would say yes if you like kind of like the single mom trope. Kind of maybe single mom trying to find herself a little bit. I would also say yes if you like strong found family side characters. There were a lot of great side characters in this, and they just like elevated the coziness of the book, I think. And I would also say yes if you kind of also like the workplace romance, because there is that situation does come into play as you read the book. I'm gonna say no if you don't like I don't know how to say this, but like the female main character is like lost romantically. I mean, she has a career, she's a great mom, that kind of thing, but she does struggle with the romance side of it, and some of the dates that she goes on, the men are like kind of D-bags, but that's kind of also the point. So I guess if you don't really like that type of situation, how do I say that as a no?
Like the finding yourself kind of thing. Like that can be a no for some people.
Yeah, if you don't like people actually like dating, this isn't, I wouldn't say this is an insta-love situation between these two characters. I will also say no if you like your books extra smutty. There is some detail to this, but I feel like this book is like equally amount on page as it is like closed door, if that makes sense. Like there is sex scenes and there is like talks of orgasms and stuff, but I wouldn't say it gets into the nitty-gritty. So if you are looking for an overly spicy book, this is not going to give you that, because I think you get 1 or 2 spicy scenes. And then that's, you know what, that's all I'm going to do, because I don't want to push my nose, but it's a super like cozy, cute, simple romance that the banter is fucking crazy. Yes, if you love good ass banter. When I was reading this,
very like 90s 2000s vibes to it.
Yeah, when I was reading this, I straight up said, I feel like this is how Liz and I talk to each other. So maybe we are romantically. It's so good.
I mean,
but cute.
Adorable.
We are like a married couple.
We are like a married couple. Your spouse is like my spouse, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my next one is Project Hail Mary, and I don't have the physical book, but I'm gonna try to input the covers of these books for anyone who's visually watching us. That way you can see kind of what the cover looks like in case you want to read it, and you're like me and you go based off of covers. Yes, if you liked the movie The Martian, I would say, because it's like the same kind of thing, same like outer space. No, if you don't like sci-fi, yes, Project Hail Mary. The audiobook is like renowned. It's really good. It's got sounds and everything. It's really cool. No, if you don't like science at all, because it's very sciencey. I was watching something on it, and John Green, who is like a scientist all over social media, everyone really knows him. He like, I want to say like beta read it, like arc read this kind of thing to check the science of it. And he's like, it is so accurate on what's happening. It's like this research and the accuracy of this story is so well done. It's really funny too. Like, if you don't like one person POV, if you don't like single POV, this is not it. This is a sci-fi, straight fantasy, man's lost in space kind of thing. It's really funny. You wouldn't think it is, but it is kind of funny. Yes, if you want to step out of your normal genre and you want to try something different, I would recommend the audiobook for this one, because it is really well done. It's a production. It's really, really good. The first chapter had me laughing. I don't want to give it away too much, but the man says, "There's something in my butt."
Oh? Shit.
And I was like, what? What's happening? So it had me laughing from the very beginning. Yes, if you like side characters, because there's a side character in this that is an alien, because I mean he's in space. So, and everyone, if you know anything about it, everyone loves the side character. Fantastic. No, if you want a predictable happy ending.
That's good.
Because I mean it has a happy ending, at least in theory, I guess I would say.
But a happy ending true to its story.
Yes. I was expecting something different. I was like, oh, that went in a way I don't expect. Was I upset by it? No. It still felt right to the story, but it wasn't what I expected. It flowed with the story, I guess is the best way to put it. It flows with the story, but it goes against the norm of what I would expect from most fantasies.
Oh,
where like the easy way out kind of thing, like it doesn't take the easy way out. It goes how it should go. And so it's good. I really liked it. I read 2 books and I'm like, I wasn't expecting to like these.
I did add that one. I did add that one because you told me that there's a chance that I could enjoy it.
I think, especially if you like Red Rising, again, whenever I look up like what to read after Project Hail Mary, everyone says Red Rising.
Oh, fucking good. So please add that to your list. If this is like the avenue that you're going, I think you'd love. I don't
know what is going on with me lately, but I like right now I'm reading another sci-fi. It's called Calamity, which is like I've been seeing all over the place for sci-fi. It's like a trilogy, I think, right now. So yeah, I don't know. It's my brain is somewhere else. I don't know.
I think too, when you are a reader that likes to dabble in like all genres, it is very easy to get over romance or like have waves of wanting to be with romance. So I'm not shocked that you don't want to be in that sector right now.
A lot of the books, especially fantasy romance, and I think this is where I'm struggling really hard, is that there are so many fantasy romances out here that are just copy and paste of the same books. And I'm like, I'm sick and tired of the same exact story, which will probably be why I may read a C.N. Crawford in April, because her stories are not the same. Like, they usually have like a twist on it and like done in a very unique way. But I mean, there are so many books that are right now that I'm like, no, I'm not going to read Quicksilver, because everyone's like, oh, it's, if you mix these 5 books, it's the exact same story. And I'm like,
yeah. And I think that's kind of where like the book talk and bookstagram culture kind of comes into play, is because a lot of people want to read essentially the same type of book, but with different characters. I also am kind of that way as well at times, because I love romantic fantasy, if that makes sense. And it kind of has to follow relatively the same thing. Does that?
Yeah.
But if you're looking for fantasy romance, that's where I think it tends to get really hard too. Yeah. Anyway, that's for another talk. Liz is going through some things with genres and people.
Oh my god, genres.
It's okay. Anyway, let's get into
about that for hours.
This motherfucker.
Yes, which one are you doing?
Kiss of Basilisk. Basilisk.
Yes, that one.
I could have 100 yeses and 100 nos for this book.
That seems to be.
This book was crazy. All right, let's start with my yeses. Yes, if you want to read people fucking at least 10 times a chapter. Like, they are fucking so much. Literally, I have never been so exhausted from sexual contact in a book. And, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I was so locked into the sex when it first started. At I would say 68% of the way in, I was like, I might have to skip some of these sex scenes. But I also want to say that some of the reasons of the sex was part of the plot, which was kind of interesting. Wild pieces of the plot. Some of the craziest pieces of the plot. But it made sense why they were having sex, I guess. So yes, yes, if you want to just read fucking. Yes. I would also say yes if you love a male main character that like absolutely like yearns. Yes if you kind of like a trial situation, because there is a trial in here. If you just peel up, if you
squint really hard,
if you move through all of the aggressive, some of them are real hot sex scenes, there is a trial involved. I'm gonna go to my no's. No, if you don't like a love triangle. That was something that did bug me about this. Not that I hate a love triangle, there was nothing wrong with there being one, but when you're reading it, you're kind of like, why is there a love triangle? Like, you love this other dude. It's fine, I have feelings about it, but no, if you don't like a love triangle.
You also don't really like any time that, like, 3 people are involved. You prefer it when it's, like, 2.
Yeah, we've come to terms that, like, no, if you don't like, essentially, monster smut, because one of the male main characters turns into it. He's a snake. I wouldn't even say it turns into a snake. He is a snake person. A snake, but he has a human form. But he is a snake. So take that in.
No, I can't.
Also, that should not be shocking for anybody that watches us. We are reading monster smut out the ass. But also no if
I'm ready for this one.
There's so many no's that I could do. I'm trying to pick which one. No, if I can't do that one. It's too much of a spoiler alert. No, if guys, there's too many no's that could be honestly spoilers and or super traumatic. So, you know what? I'm gonna leave it at.
I'm gonna leave it there.
It's a very sexual book. So take that with you, Will. Either embrace it. I embraced it.
Yeah, you did.
I will say there is, like, I'm gonna say no if, like, sometimes the world building can get a little muddled, you know, and, like, the way that there's, like, political systems, that kind of thing, those got a little muddled for me, so it can be a little hard to process and consume, so
if you need, like, a very well mapped out world building, this is not for you.
Yeah, because I just could not work through some of the other things that were happening at the pace that I needed to in order to understand what was going on. So yeah.
Some of the things that you told me happen in it, I was like, but they're like, oh, you have to do this because of, like, politics. And I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, there were some things that I was like, whoa. And then those things happened, and then really nothing ever came from it.
No one ever came from that?
Yeah, there was a lot of coming. Guys, let's talk about it. There was a ton of coming. Wouldn't be an episode without.
I mean, I was living for your updates because they were so funny. They were. I feel like I read the book and I didn't have to read it, which is fantastic for me.
I can understand the popularity of this book for how unhinged it is and how wild it is. And I appreciate it. I would say that this is a 4 stars simply for what it is. Yeah, you know what I mean? So anyway.
That's me. I'm not going to go into detail for my next ones, but out of all the books I read, I can't pick like a secondary, third, tertiary, whatever it's called. So I'm going to say Hidden Roots and Stolen Chances. Mainly Stolen Chances.
Okay.
I love that one. Because all the other ones, I'm like, none of them top that. They're like 3 stars. So I wouldn't. And I mean, it's not that I didn't. Let me rephrase that. I also really liked Slice of Hell, but I liked Stolen Chances better than any of the other ones. So Stolen Chances, yes. If you let me start with the no. No if you don't like a single mom trope.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, if you like 2 men pining for each other.
Yes, I agree.
Very much so. Yes, if you like thirst trap content, because that's like the best way to describe it. No, if you don't like small town romances, that's gonna be the easiest one. Yeah.
Sure.
It's very small town, very like cutesy kind of thing. So
I'd almost also say no if you don't like the thirst trap content where it's like the guy doing sexy things in the kitchen, like making stuff.
Yeah.
Because that could swing both ways.
It's hilarious.
Clio made it hot as hell, but if I see that out in the public, I'm like, no. Yeah. Don't spit.
Spit on my food.
We'll get more into that, but based on like my polyamory
that
response,
wasn't your favorite,
but Stolen Chances like made me feel like I did really enjoy that one. So
yes, I love that. And I love thruples. So
you do love thruples. Yeah. And I loved their love. And I think that's truly what it is I think, I just have to find the right person. The right persons. My next one, I will do Zoe Brennan, first crush. I'll do that one. So this is a sapphic romance. How it starts is pretty wild, and I was like, whoa, pop off. Here's the cover.
Cute.
I would say yes if you like females that run businesses, like are really, in it to win it, powerhouses, that kind of thing. I would also say yes if you like, I guess, the first time crush thing. Like, the premise of this book is the female main character, she had a crush on this one person when she was younger, her ex-best friend's older sister, and the biggest crush ever. And obviously nothing ever came about it, but now she's an adult and things are coming about. So yes, if you like almost, would you say a second chance with your first crush? That would be, but they never had a romance
it'd be
before.
more of that like best friend sibling trope.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, then no.
Yeah, I would also say like yes if you like the idea of someone exploring their first time crush type of thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really have no's for this one because I feel like it's just a really good, wholesome, women love women type of situation. Obviously, it's got the drama, it's got the whole situation. I would say no if you don't like threesomes because there is like threesome content at the beginning. But yeah, overall, I just thought it was really good. I loved it. I loved every second of it. So just yes if you like that, and no
Yes,
if you
please.
don't like it.
If you don't like sapphic romances, you probably shouldn't be reading a sapphic romance.
Yeah, it
just gonna put
it's
that
good.
out there.
Right. So
I love it.
Yeah, I'm not good at this.
Neither of us are.
You're so good at it. But I will say, Kiss of Basilisk, the list goes on and on, gang. And if you want that list, I will gladly chat with you if you've read it before, because that is a crazy effing book.
Slide into the DMs.
Slide in.
Not mine, because I didn't read it. However, I still feel like I know the entire plot. It's so funny. What I read, I did try to read it. I did start the sample of it.
Give me time,
I did not
guys.
get very far.
I'll get her. I almost said loosened up. That's not what I meant. Give me time, guys. I'll get her convinced.
Oh no.
I'll get her loosened up.
I was like, this is some choices. Some choices were made in this one. It's fine.
It was some choices. Wild.
Yes.
Couldn't put it down. I literally, guys, I went to the work bathroom to read this shit. I couldn't get enough.
Well, I think the most favorite, because I've seen the line, and that says a lot. But there's a line that is all over social media from this book, and it's about his chunky cum.
Yeah, that was something that was
his thick, chunky cum.
It was like thick pearls or something like that.
No.
And yeah, I will say that took me aback. It took me aback.
If it didn't, I would be concerned.
Yeah, I would say it gave me pause. You were like, but it's also not the wildest thing that you read. Like,
not in that one, no.
She literally goes to a cave to learn how to fuck.
Yes.
From a snake person.
And that's a very interesting premise. You know what I mean? Like, I only want to read it because I want to understand that plot line, like the basic plot line of why does she need to be trained how to bang someone? Like, what is she learning?
That's where the trial comes in.
I know, but how do they determine this?
I am telling you, this is crazy. We'll cut this out. The reason is, Carrie's fired up. The reason is she goes into the cave to learn how to fuck from the snake people, because the snake people they're known how to fuck, you know, they fuck good. He teaches her everything he knows so she can be the best lover. So when she goes to the trial to the king and the prince, because she has to essentially seduce to become the next queen. He's fucking her, so she's good at fucking, so the king chooses her to be the queen.
Okay. This may be just me. This may be the autistic speaking. But I don't think I have ever learned anything from a man.
This is what's crazy. But he's a snake. So maybe that's what's different.
I mean, if he taught her how to, like, give really good blowjobs, sure.
He does all of it.
That makes sense. But the act of fucking, the only really thing he's going to teach her is, like, what? Weird sex moves?
But I think what it is, too, is, like, getting her comfortable in her own skin, letting her find what she likes. Teach it, like, taking her virginity.
If she's supposed to be, like, the thing, like, just a fuck doll for a prince.
Well, but I think, too, that's where I also thought it was.
You're like,
but I think what it is, too, is for her to know enough to, like, please herself while also pleasing him, and then they actually enjoy sex versus it being... It's too psychological.
It's too weird.
It literally, it could be perceived in so many ways.
Yeah.
But crazy, guys. They fuck so much that he breaks her pelvis. Like, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. Spoiler alert, her pelvis is broken, shattered. But anyway,
I feel like people, if they heard that, some people would be like, bet that just moved up my TBR.
Move it up, gang. I want to hear what you think. I think this seriously could be such a good episode. Everybody comment below telling Liz to read this shit. She needs to read it. All seriousness, like I said, 4 stars for me. 4 stars for me. Would have been 5 if I didn't know the actual, like the volume of the cum. I didn't need to know the texture, the shape.
If that wasn't involved, it'd be a 5-star. If we didn't have to know the texture of it.
Maybe some other things that occurred, but those are big spoilers. So I'll let you guys get. Anyway. That was our March.
It was March. It was kind of all over the place. I mean, I had sci-fi, fantasy, contemporary romance, horror, thrillers.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I had snakes, cowboys, fantasy. I had it all.
It was just wild.
I truly had it all.
And that's how you like it.
And that's what I like.
All of it. Oh, well, let us know what you all read in March, what your favorites were. If you're like Carrie and you DNF'd a bunch, yeah, let us know. But let us hear everything, what we need to put on our TBRs, just like we do with you. And just remember to read what you want, and don't be a dick.